great advantage here when it comes to the pick ban, because, man, if you start throwing Stego and Tricera bans to Team Liquid, I wonder, do they have the depth strategically to respond to that, to adapt?
Okay, interesting that we're starting on Graceland Sky City, because I expected that no matter what, we would go there, either round 1 or round 2. I feel like this almost preempts a Palm Bay. That just, it seems like that's what's likely to happen in the next round. But looking at this one,
devious ban.
yeah.
Team Liquid, have they played any other supports? I wonder. They're thinking, oh, it's a ban. See what the research tells them. Hovering the Falcon. It's going to be the Falcon ban. But I wonder, I mean, does Team Liquid have the depth on the Panaka? Will this be another set of 1v1s?
I mean, I think you got to go Panaka. But
I mean,
I don't think you're loving going.
Have they played it before?
Mayumi's thinking about it. You know, I bet Mayumi's played at least a game of Panaka. Because you got to try both, right? To see what you like when you're first learning the game. I've certainly tried my my fair share of games of Panaka and Luminate. I may not be partial to either of them, but Mayumi seems to have gravitated towards the supports and has done very well on them so far. On the other end of this, though, I'm not seeing a support. I know that Team Liquid's considering the Panaka. EXTRATRUN are going all the way, tanks.
I actually think this is a pretty sick strat now that I see it. That, like, if you take out the Luminae, I don't know that Panaka really has the sustain to tolerate the overwhelming spam pressure that EXTRATRUN are going to be able to bring to bear. If they get set up on one of these high grounds, that could look pretty unbreakable. Bobkin on the Elyseness, Tife on the Inferno. Comfort picture Team Liquid, but it looks scary.
EXTRATRUN whipping out both the Sky Raider and the Hurricane. It's
looking like
pretty
Palm
nice.
Bay.
Yeah, like honestly, you could run this on Palm Bay. They might run the same comp in both games if nothing gets banned out, because that seems like the natural conclusion here. But starting off in Graceland, it'll also be a matter of who's able to play the long range game better, who's able to take high ground faster. That's where you can find a nice advantage. If you are grappling for high ground, I could definitely see the Sky Raider coming into play, and I'll say I'm a little surprised that even with the Falcon ban that you're going Sky Raider, because there are other damage options. I don't think you need a flyer on this map.
Yeah, we'll see how teams like to open up in the fight. Brit, oh my, do not fall off the map to start the game. That would be bad.
That counts as a... Yeah, it does. It does. I was just thinking whether
I think it does, yeah, count as an elimination. You got to remember, Team Liquid, they are the ones with the support, so if they play this one nice and slow, play for the Panaka, feels like an EXTRATRUN could be in trouble, right, with maybe a lack of sustain.
How'd Bob Quinn get chunked? I don't know how this happened. Somehow he's at 75 HP. Just regenning the fluid armor now. And I haven't seen him on my screen.
Trying to take these poke angles from the side, but really difficult to break Team Liquid in a very nice spot defensively, making this really awkward for EXTRATRUN.
There's a reason why we expected to go here, and it is because if any map, Team Liquid should be most successful on the ones that keep them all together, that let them play this heavy tank playstyle that they've been practicing. And right now they got their DPS lined up behind the tanks. This is exactly the kind of map that DJ was talking about wanting to play this morning. And it's 0-0 so far. It's up to EXTRATRUN to get on top of Team Liquid and force an error.
Both teams so far content to just poke it out. Maybe waiting for the clock to run a little bit lower. Team Liquid a bit less experienced. Wonder if the pressure will start to get to them. Bob Quinn in low. Looks like it was Welkenbox. Managed to slip out for the moment, but that was a scary situation to be in.
I like that he's going for it, but now having lost the armor for Elyseness, we'll have to play around that cooldown. I think you might choose to even pop it early, get the airdrop armor back in just so that you can start the 3-minute cooldown ticking. But I suppose with 2 minutes 50 seconds left on the map, I don't know if it'll matter that much.
Yeah, cooldown. Wonder if that will be a factor. DJ forced to pop that Stego smoke. This could be an opening for EXTRATRUN, but I'm not sure they really want to get in. It's scary to be so aggressive so early.
Probably going to bring things down to the wire. I could definitely see this going into overtime since Team Liquid are playing so risk averse. FRTT also keeping Extra Turn honest with the Aquila, doing a good job of just landing harass and making sure that you can't walk up to this squad for free. It's a great position by Team Liquid. Their health is in a good spot. Inferno might change things, though. Inferno famously good at tank breaking, but nice shots out of FRTT force him to ground.
It's going to be powerful. Extra Turn starting to put the pressure on. Lack of a support means they really don't have much of a margin for error. Red Geyser coming in, diving over the top with the Sky Barrier that finds the opening onto Frit. And now Extra Turn. Smell blood in the water, pouring the pressure on. Inferno over the top from Aruma, and it's a team wipe. Team Liquid 3 down. Extra Turn chasing stragglers around the map. Team Liquid need to dance and dive away, but the clock is low. Very little margin right now.
It was all about that walk up. Extra Turn finding the approach onto Team Liquid, now up 4-0, and with only 2 players left on the map. Whether they find these kills or no, and I think they will. Boxing right on top of Bob Quinn leaves him nowhere to go. And that means, unfortunately, that he's going nowhere fast. Back into Baby and back to Spawn. 5-0 with 1:12 seconds left. It's 1 kill or 1 minute. Either way, Extra Turn look to be taking this.
They're thinking about chasing, thinking better of it, though. No need to take risks here, right? For Extra Turn. All they have to do is run the clock at this point. Team Liquid taking this high ground, pumping a bit of damage, but seems to be too little too late. This round may be already over.
Yeah, at this point, you're comfortable running down the clock. It's Team Liquid that have to get aggressive onto you, and they can stay out of your line of sight forever. Team Liquid know it, and they start getting a bit aggressive themselves. Jumping down onto the low ground. Bob Quinn again in the mix. Marino waiting with the box cooldown to maybe trap this rogue Alisnes. Hurricanes and Infernos all stacked on top of each other, but Team Liquid's health is going low. Bob Quinn, perfect timing on the Alisnes pop, but again gets boxed in right after the transformation and should go down, but I see him escape.
Yeah, so many low players on Liquid. They're not able to keep the aggression on, but fighting into Natsumiya seems to be too tall in order. Chasing for the finish onto Frit. That'll be the round if they can find it.
One shot will do it. Laser gonna secure it. Nice job. Nice job out of Extra. I can't complain.
Extra Turn really pushing Team Liquid with that Lumine ban. I mean, that really is a huge strategic blow. It throws so much chaos into the game with how much of a mainstay Lumine has been. Respect to Team Liquid for making this competitive. Oh my god, it's the full lane commit on the high ground tower. I don't know how this one's going to play out. Will Panaka be a difference maker here?
Nice timing out of Aruma, but Team Liquid are getting Bob Quinn melted. Thank God he's on the Alisnes. Bob Quinn has bought so much time for the team. DJ able to set up almost on the high ground, but gets forced down to the low, and Aruma takes him down. That's the first blood on Team Liquid. Second drawn as FRTT falls, and it's 2-0 for Extra Turn.
Aruma chasing them down. Stragglers trying to escape the mighty beam of Inferno. 3 down already. This round is out of control. Extra Turn chasing down stragglers. Right, Kaiser continuing to pour the pressure on. Seeing if he can catch anybody. Stego hiding in the smoke, but is scouted. Teammates could be coming in. Sliggy on very low HP. Fluid armor gone. Inferno over the top, beaming him through. Surely he's going to be going down here.
This is where you really see the snowball nature of Graceland Sky City. As soon as you lose one person, especially if you're ultra grouped up like this,
yeah,
the match just rockets out of control, up 4-0. I mean, the match may not be over, but it's extremely difficult to come back from, especially if you're getting staggered as Team Liquid were.
Yeah, and Extra Turn, I think, are starting to feel the advantage they have in the battle, and in the chaos, Team Liquid are struggling to regroup. Frit very vulnerable on the Aquila. He is going to drop, and just one more kill will do it on Graceland Sky City, and it's Extra Turn taking map 1.
I think the expected result after they were able to take the first round of Graceland Sky City in the way that they did, that was likely the most difficult round for them. Yeah. And we saw them really minimize the mistakes that they were making and slowly take ground on Team Liquid. It was a nice, measured approach, and Team Liquid didn't have an answer to that. I didn't expect them to have an answer to the next round.
Yeah, it's definitely a chess match there on Graceland Sky City, and one that I think favors Extra Turn with their better experience in Mecha Break, better depth of strategy. I think the Lumine ban was really smart to put Team Liquid on something that they probably weren't experienced on, a matchup they didn't fully understand. And that's something that Extra Turn are happy to capitalize on, is they're taking this very seriously. That's a team that they may be here in the lower bracket, but I think they have higher aspirations for the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Extra Turn making it out of the lower bracket entirely, and I know that the lower bracket is going to have a lot of strong teams dropping down to it, but
Yeah.
EXTRATRUN were ranked pretty highly, at least in my estimation, coming into the tournament, and giving them a chance to grow throughout it, develop a few new strategies over these days of scrims, I could see them going all the way.
I think they're not taking any chances with Team Liquid, right? It's a dominant win on Graceland Sky City. Liquid gonna have map pick, gonna have some options to at least go out on their own terms here. Maybe they can force a decisive game 3, would be huge for them. However, it's a tough challenge, as you mentioned. I mean, EXTRATRUN are a real serious team to beat, and I feel like they're not leaving anything up to chance, right? They're really going hard. They want to secure this win dominantly, and they want to progress in the tournament.
Speaking of not leaving things up to chance, you got to imagine we're going Palm Bay, right? I mean, sorry. I'm going to say I imagine we're going Palm Bay.
I feel the same way.
Yeah, like this.
If I was Team Liquid, that's what I would do. However, what I'm worried about is something like a Stego ban or Tricera ban, just really shaking things up on Palm Bay.
That's true.
Which I think is very likely, given that EXTRATRUN doesn't tend to like to play these heavier tank compositions. I mean, in fairness, they kind of went for it here on Graceland Sky City.
Yeah.
But they've just been a team that's very innovative, very creative, right?
Yeah.
To have the no support style and to make it look really clean, really good. Like, for the whole time, I'm thinking, oh, surely you need a support to focus on repair. Like, surely that's so important. And I think if Luminae's unbanned, it's probably true. However, with no Luminae on the server, they feel like, you know what, we can win Graceland Sky City. We can do this. We don't need, as long as we're smart with our position, we don't take the damage. We don't even need the heal.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very flexible team, our EXTRATRUN. Also, very strangely, a quiet team. I've been watching them scrim a lot of today, and well, they do have an IGL, Valkuma clearly calling the shots for the roster. Not a lot of comms. They know what's going on at almost every point, and there's not a lot of need for communication. Sometimes you drop a name, you hit them with the Aquila, and people know what's up. Like,
I mean, a team, a few words. Well, when those words come out, they're heard. People respect that, and they follow the comms. Sometimes that's what you need. Maybe it's more than the active coordination. It's just the passive understanding. Everybody knows how each other wants to play. They have the same strategic vision of the game, and they're so well practiced. Maybe they don't really need that communication so crucially. Which is impressive, though, because honestly, a game like Mecha gets chaotic. It feels like sometimes you really do need somebody being that generalissimo, like leading the charge. See what map we go to next. Before we get there, we got to talk about MVP of that last map. Kind of liking maybe. Oh, here we are. We can look at some of the stats.
I was kind of liking Sky Raider for MVP. But
I mean, look at it's actually very even across the board on EXTRATRUN.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody super tight in terms of those merit points. A lot of contribution from across the squad.
What's probably weighting it for me is the 4 kills on Valkuma.
Yeah.
That's
pretty big.
That screams MVP material.
Yeah, Stego I think is particularly powerful, especially in this composition with no healer. I think that could have been a weak point for Stego with maybe suffering in some of the extended team fights, but they're able to make it look really solid. Our EXTRATRUN by just great positioning, great understanding, movements as a team. Hurricane, I think, also playing a big role in the damage mitigation department.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at the damage dealt as well. And actually, I mean, for all that Stego is a damage pumping machine, didn't get as much done as you typically expect. So Aruma going to walk away with the MVP. Pretty well deserved, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, Inferno was really delivering it over 1 million damage. Yeah. 300,000 of that direct. Just a key player.
Yeah, and that's why you pick Inferno. Inferno actually a really good pick into TL, and so no matter what map we go to, I wouldn't mind seeing an Inferno ban because he's such a good tank buster, and TL are very tank reliant.
The animation on a high level right now from Aruma. He's feeling confident. Whatever map gets picked. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from Graceland Sky City. EXTRATRUN able to get a pretty dominant, decisive win here on map 1. And this is Team Liquid now fighting for their tournament lives against a team that looks aggressive in that lower bracket, that doesn't want to stay lower, that wants to fight their way back very much deeper into this tournament, and that has a really deep striker pool, right? A lot of options that they could bring out on any kind of map, any kind of engagement. They're a team that's hard to predict, hard to play against.
You know, it's interesting watching Sky Raider be picked a little more today. I know that in this particular case, it could very well have been just because of the Falcon ban, but over the past couple of days, a decent chunk of the meta has become how much gas can I throw at you? So we got Stegos, we got Welkins, we now got Sky Raiders, we've even got Hurricanes who might not have gas, but have at least a way to distract, a way to mess up the lock-on that would otherwise happen, and that seems to be the biggest part of the meta right now, is removing a lot of the assistance that you'd otherwise get.
Okay, Crowd Sinkhole. I mean,
Team Liquid pick Crowd Sinkhole?
They're believing. I mean, in fairness, right? Like, this is the map they played yesterday. They reviewed it. They talked about it. It's fresh in their minds. Maybe they feel like, hey, you know what? At least let's go to a map that we know what our game plan is. That's
fair. I mean, it's surprising, but I think that no matter what, if you're comfortable on it as Team Liquid, go for it. Like it really comes down to how you feel most comfortable, because that's what Team Liquid are going to be chasing throughout this entire tournament should they make it beyond.
Sky Raider gets banned. Not something that Team Liquid want to worry about. They feel like that disruption threat in their tanking setup. Too much to worry about. EXTRATRUN, see what the response is going to be, considering a few options in the ban.
Listeny's ban maybe thrown at Bob Quinn. I mean, he was playing some pretty good disruption last game.
Yeah, it can be an annoying option, especially the ability to disrupt some of the captures. Those extra lives, it is going to be banned out now. Curious to see the comps, though. The picks from EXTRATRUN are really hard to predict. This is a very versatile team that has shown me personally a lot of new innovative strategies. So I think the folks at home would do well to watch EXTRATRUN to learn from the way they approach Mecha Break.
The pilots on EXTRATRUN dripped out too. I'm liking the fits, especially the TV head. Soft spot in my heart for the TV head.
Look at that paint job on the Lumine. That actually goes crazy.
It really does. Man, that is like dark Lumine. Sith Lumine.
Very cool. You got to be in perma-damage mode with that paint job.
Yes, sir.
Also, shout out the Liquid players having the Team Liquid paint job. White and blue. Looking good. Naomi and Tiffey repping the brand hard. Love it.
You notice DSG, all their pilots are dressed in yellow?
Yeah, I love that.
Pretty
I love
cool.
that.
Pretty cool. I'm noticing Hurricane being picked up for EXTRATRUN. I have seen a few teams experimenting with Hurricane on Krob.
Seems like it's getting more and more popular. People, I think, saw the success on Palm Bay and thought, hey, we can replicate that elsewhere.
Yeah.
So the main group tanking power is going to be phenomenal from EXTRATRUN. They're fully focused on winning that death ball fight. Could be a bit of a liability when it comes to splitting up and dealing with the points. However, winning that first fight, capturing a point, really impactful in getting that early tempo lead in the map. So maybe that commitment will pay off here. EXTRATRUN, clearly they know what they're doing in Mecha Break.
I do think that given the way that Graceland Sky City went, you can rely on a decent amount of damage output from EXTRATRUN, but without the Sky Raider, it's going to be a much more even matchup in the first 30, 45 seconds for TL, and it'll be a matter of how EXTRATRUN are maneuvering around them, because the flank power is what makes EXTRATRUN really a team to look out for, and that is whether they are playing these heavy flankers like Panther, like Falcon, or not. They're still a team that knows how to move around the map very, very well. I'm noticing no snipers picked up for EXTRATRUN, where normally you'd see an Aquila, and Team Liquid actually have one, so that could be a pretty big edge for TL.
Yeah, Aquila historically has been really powerful here, so EXTRATRUN, they're going all in on this death ball grouping. See if it's enough to win that trade. It's going to need to be pretty decisive. Oh no, Inferno over the top is destroying them. Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's just Aruma really knowing what he's doing, because that mobility, that flank that we talked about being so critical is exactly what gets served to Team Liquid. They don't watch their right-hand side, and they get destroyed for it. That is 2 kills going over, plus the point cap to EXTRATRUN. They're already off to a rockin' 20-point start, and while it may be a far sight from actually the 1,000 that they'll need, point B and C have yet to be unlocked, and you've already taken out most of Team Liquid.
Aruma is eating right now. Fresh off that MVP from map 1, looking to run it back. Points aren't even open, and they've already capped A. I mean, that's really massive. At least for Team Liquid, they wiped so quickly that EXTRATRUN aren't going to be able to get a full cap off of that route.
Will be Team Liquid fully respawned and likely rushing one of the side points. I'm seeing them start to move towards B right now, and I do like that they are hard committing onto one thing. Still disruptible, though, from a distance, and I wonder if they try and burn a box to make this happen. On the other side, EXTRATRUN definitely burn the box to capture point C, and it's a 2-1 point lead on the data nodes for EXTRATRUN v Team Liquid.
Naomi here on the Lumine. Team Liquid need to really carefully consider their approach here. The walk-up is a very scary thing. We saw how hard it was for them to take that first fight on the setup. Now they're walking out, but they're taking a ton of spam pressure, trying to get set up on this bridge. EXTRATRUN are very aware, and Inferno is over the top, denying any kind of an entrance into the engagement. And I think EXTRATRUN are very happy with the status quo. They're happy to have 2 caps, just defending the position for now.
You really don't have to do much at the point where they are, especially when you're collecting kills on FRTT. The Aquila, the big difference that could have happened between TEAMLIQUID and EXTRATRUN. Aruma out-sniping the sniper with the damage on Inferno.
Yeah, Inferno, when played in this team deathball, is so powerful, so much damage you can output, especially with the rest of the squad being so tanky and so hard to evict. TEAMLIQUID, they're going to make a little bit of a delta split here, send some strikers over to Objective C. But Welkin is just ready here to defend in the corner.
Are we 1v1ing? Are we getting another 1v1? It doesn't look like it.
He's just chilling.
Marino's just completely unbothered. He knows that his job is simply to disrupt, and the harass can come from elsewhere, but fighting a 1v1 against Bobquin, not going to be the biggest news of his day.
Bobquin trying to get something done, but oh, gets caught by the enemy Welkin. He's hiding in that corner all the time. And then as soon as he drops low, charges onto Bobquin, is going to get the cleanup. Valkuma dropped at the same time, so it's a 1-for-1. But once again, Aruma over the top. I mean, he's this huge X factor on the Inferno. Everyone's running for the hills on TEAMLIQUID. Pressure comes back under Aruma, though. Maybe he's flown too close to the sun on this Inferno.
Nice job by DJ to pick up the kill onto Valkuma. That's TEAMLIQUID's first and only kill, but another one quickly follows as Sliggy takes out Aruma. That is the first 2 kills for TEAMLIQUID, and we're going to call those victories. All these are small victories, Jake.
Yeah, it's something. The match is getting a little bit more chaotic. Should play in their favor. Frit probably needs to find at least one more, though. Opening up this game is critical. The midpoint would be the way to start that off for TEAMLIQUID. They have a momentary power play of 1, but the Welkin boxes in Frit, blocking out that sniper, forcing him to kite out of the engagement.
Does feel a little rough to get jumped on by a Welkin, especially when you're just trying to play your nice little peaceful game as Aquila. Bit of spin to win just to defend your Stego, and it'll keep Mochi alive inside the haze, but Mochi being focused from the side. DJ found a flank, playing Disruptor on the tank, takes out Mochi, and again, finds another kill for TEAMLIQUID. DJ playing for the disruption and making things work for TL.
Tricera making a big move. What a flank from DJ that opened things up for TEAMLIQUID. They're very far behind in this match, but with that
they got 2
massive
points.
set of triple kills, they may be able to grab a triple cap here.
They've certainly got the numbers advantage to do it. Point C left still uncontested, but at this stage, if TEAMLIQUID are able to hold on to a double point, they could still overtake EXTRATRUN.
I think it's really close. Like, is it enough with the double cap?
If they hold on to it, I think it could be. If they hold on to it. It's a big if.
It's going to be tight. Definitely the kills make a big difference in a game like this. TEAMLIQUID, let's test their setup. This is EXTRATRUN now, fighting at full strength. Inferno over the top, pumping in damage from above. Is there anyone able to stop Aruma's reign of terror?
Yeah, you gotta box Aruma. You have to take out this Inferno, and nobody seems up to the task, especially now when we've got a Hurricane lasering damage in as well. Sliggy's low, Bobquin goes down. TEAMLIQUID end up on the losing end of this battle. Have yet to actually recap A, though, and as I say that, they do take the point over and regain the lead, 680, and we talked about this earlier. When you pass 700 and your opponent's below 500, that's when you can start maybe not resting on your laurels, but relaxing a little bit if EXTRATRUN have it in them.
Yeah, EXTRATRUN really just need to stay alive. Frit under a lot of pressure. Got to be very careful. Don't want to drop too low, and there's the burst.
Whoa.
Aruma, so good on this Inferno. And Marino, I mean, bro is just vibing. He hasn't seen combat since the mid-fight.
There's so much damage potential on Inferno, and I really like that people are comboing the primary fire with use of the focused and split emitters to deliver surprising burst where you otherwise might not expect it from Inferno, and you have no way of predicting when it's going to come.
Yeah, Welkin being a big thorn in their side. TEAMLIQUID, this is their moment, trying to strike here onto the A point. They've got to break this open. EXTRATRUN losing a bit of fluid armor, but still overall quite strong and over the top. That Inferno, a huge factor. DJ trying to pressure them away. Frit as well, trying to shut down Aruma. They know the threat that this Inferno poses. They know they can't allow him to remain in the sky, but they may have no choice. EXTRATRUN very dominant in this fight. But hold on. Aruma low.
One more snap could do it. FRTT, the one that needs to be finishing all of these kills, but just doesn't have the angle to do it. Tife actually maybe being sniped out right now, but Natsu doesn't quite land the shot. And Aruma manages to make the damage stick once again onto the front line of Team Liquid, taking out one kill, turning it into another. EXTRATRUN at 972 are going to be winning this match in just a few seconds as they finish off the last couple of ceremonial kills onto Team Liquid. It's 1,000 to barely 500, not even 500. And a nice decisive win from EXTRATRUN.
EXTRATRUN, this is exactly what they envisaged in this match. They really came out strong, played their strategies to a T. And for our final match of the day, they're going to be sending Team Liquid home, our first NA team that we're going to have to say goodbye to here at the Mecha Break Invitational.
I mean, really solid performance out of EXTRATRUN, and I gotta say I expected nothing less, but I am impressed with Team Liquid and the fact that, well, I predicted that they'd go Palm Bay, that they'd minimize their risk. What they maximized was their growth in the tournament, picking a map that many teams have been afraid to pick throughout the tournament. Krab Sinkhole, most teams will avoid if given the chance because it's difficult to do, but they recognize that bit of success they got yesterday and they chased it, still putting up a really good fight up against EXTRATRUN to finish out their tournament run.
Yeah, willing to play a patient, even, you know, really disrupting, winning a fight there against EXTRATRUN in the mid game, able to flip the midpoint at least once. So something for Team Liquid to be proud of. Had their nice moments here in the Mecha Break Invitational. A lot of these players with less experience in the game. It's maybe no surprise that a team as strong as EXTRATRUN will send them home, but I think they can go with their heads held high. They definitely made a showing for the fans here, did Team Liquid.
They've had a good time, and they'll continue to have a good time in the next couple of days because the tournament isn't over, and none of the teams actually go home immediately. They're still hanging out here in Zhuhai, and it's a fantastic environment to be in with still a lot of celebration for Mecha Break, a lot of celebration of the players, the pilots that have managed to make their way here and perform on a stage to celebrate the let's say, pre-launch of this game.
Yeah, we're all excited, looking forward to what's next in Mecha Break. This will be our last match of the day. And it's going to be EXTRATRUN who are going to be continuing on in the competition. Curious to see where they go from here, what other teams they can kick in the lower bracket. I mean, that's one of those teams that it's kind of a scary team to be in the lower bracket because other opponents are going to think, oh, we've got one more chance and you got to play EXTRATRUN. So that's a potentially scary matchup. They've got some pocket strats, you know, clear depth in their strategic understanding of the game. It makes them really challenging to play against in this pick ban format.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what EXTRATRUN look like up against Reject because, while Reject may not have had the most dominant of wins on the first day, they are a team that is pretty well coordinated, and I want to see how that looks up against EXTRATRUN because Celestial being, I would say, are a step maybe just above where I'd put Reject. Again, power rankings being what they are, sort of ephemeral.
Yeah, it's a vibes check at this point.
Vibes check.
Thinking about the MVP for this map, I feel like this has to be just another one for Aruma on the Inferno. I mean, the Inferno was just think about that mid fight, just a devastating opener on the Inferno, coming in over the top. I think was a key part of EXTRATRUN's success that they're able to leverage the striker so effectively.
I'd be really surprised if Aruma was an MVP.
Yeah.
That was like such a clutch opener, and it's not like it all stopped there. He didn't just AFK at A. He was helping the team cap data nodes all over the place.
I mean, look at that, though. A lot of credit being given to Natsumiya on the Hurricane. And the Hurricane may be an unconventional pick on Krab Sinkhole, but looking really amazing here.
Yeah, a few more teams experimenting with it. And it's an interesting read because when I initially look at Krab Sinkhole, I see it as a mobility-favored map because you have to control 3 points, and you can't be in multiple places at once without having the ability to get there. And yet, we're seeing Hurricane, who's really known for locking down a point, actually take away the MVP on this map, and that's over something like an Inferno that was opening things up with damage, and that's over things like a Welkin that are often running around capping points. Hurricane doing this is really impressive.
The tankiness of Hurricane is pretty monstrous. I mean, 2 million, more than 2 million damage taken.